Hello and what is up everyone? Welcome back to another live cast from ESL 1 Hamburg 2017. We got EG versus Newbee. This is going to be game 2 and the draft just completed here, so we're going to get into the game quite soon. I did expect that EG might pick up Ember Spirit here. Just looking at Newbee's draft, they look a little bit light on the disable, mostly because of this Undying third pick. This is not a hero that we see too often anymore, but I do actually like this hero and what he can provide in the laning stage. But after that, it feels like you just have to snowball. Otherwise, he feels very underwhelming. And we'll see how Newbee plans to do that. And they pick a very similar lineup from last game that EG had, actually, with the Queen of Pain mid here for SCCC and the Carry Monkey King for Mugi. In the last game, EG had the offlane Pugna, but in this game they have a bit more control-oriented offlaner in the Puck for KPI. And I guess Newbee saw EG's draft, felt like it was pretty strong, and going to pick up, fairly similar draft themselves here, but we're going to head right into the game here. As for EG's draft, they have the more solid draft, I would say. I think the way that Newbee needs to play is they need to dominate the laning stage, which is something EG did in the last game. So I guess they felt like those heroes were so strong in laning stage, they felt the pressure, and they're going to try to do the same. But I just liked EG's draft in general in the last game a lot more. I felt like they were able to do more. And we'll see how things play out, but I think Ember Spirit shouldn't have that hard of lane. I think his matchup against Queen of Pain isn't that bad. Eventually he can even try for kills on her, as she's burstable, and he also has the Searing Chains to prevent the blink. As for TZ, it looks like he will be going to the off lane. This is something that EG kind of like to do, where they'll send like the Visage +1 dual lane off lane. Maybe they'll go with the full try, and they'll just have Universe do his thing in the safe lane. Very similar to how they laned in the last game as well. They went with the aggro try, but we're going to see some action coming out from Newbee as they go with the level 1 smoke, but they don't catch out Crit. He rolls to the low ground, and he'll pop their smoke and evade the gank. Kaka's just going to be standing there. He went for the boot start. And EG avoid this, but they will be giving up the bounty rune. So we'll see if KP can actually steal Universe's rune as well. And they might actually get 4 runes. But no, EG moving back in with their whole team. And it will force Newbee back to the top side here. And they'll reclaim their rune for Sumail. And as I said, I think the Queen of Pain versus Ember matchup isn't that Queen favored. I think, if anything, it's Ember favored, especially with the Earth Spirit. So they're actually going to put the Monkey mid on the side of Newbee and have Mugi battle it up against Sumail. However, Sumail will have help from Crit here, and Mugi should own this lane regardless, even with the help though, because he is Monkey King against 2 melees, and we saw how strong that was in the last game with Arteezy destroying KPI in laning stage and forcing him to jungle. So we'll have a safe lane Queen of Pain from Newbee here, and I don't think there's much Universe can do. Venom, it's not very strong in this lane. If he ever gales the Queen, she could always just blink away. And we'll see how this Undying pays off though for Newbee, as it's pretty quiet for now. There's going to be a lane spot from EG. They're going to send Universe top, as they'd rather the Veno deal with the Queen of Pain than Arteezy. They're going to have Arteezy ballot up against the Puck here, and they're doing a ton of damage to Faith. Just level 1 though, so they don't have the nuke from Arteezy to finish him off. But already, this Undying feeling a little bit underwhelming. Normally you want him to get more done at level 1. But he kind of just spammed out his decay there, and now he's ticking down really low. This is the problem with the hero, is when the decay starts ticking out, he just loses a bunch of HP, and then he falls to critical HP, and he has to pretty much go back to base. Well, Puck gonna pass him a Tango, but I still think he pretty much has to leave the lane. Once Arteezy gets level 2, you can put that 1 point into Soul Assumption, and Dying has to be careful for his life. And he'll walk back to pick up the bounty rune. And we'll go back to the mid lane, and it looks like Sumail actually isn't doing that bad. Again, it is a 2v1, and Monkey King in a full 1v1 against Ember, I think he should be slightly favored. He still has to be careful, as I think that Sumail will have some burn damage on him, and with the Earth Spirit rolling in, I think Monkey King could definitely die. He's not unkillable. But at the same time, Sumail has to be careful because he can turn around those ganks easily with having a Jingu up and getting a nice balanced strike. So again, Faith will move back to the fountain to heal up. He does pick up boots and he'll probably return to the bottom lane. Again, they want to put some pressure onto Arteezy, but this lane is not that easy to contest. Instead, he'll TP mid to help out Mugi. And we see the rotation from Kaka too, really well timed. They should allow Newbee to get first blood, and they will onto Mugi. Sumail, not much that he could do there to help out, and that was just really nice gank from Kaka. He waited there for a while. Waited for Faith to even come in. I don't think it was necessary, but just wanted to secure that kill. Got themselves first blood, and Faith also rotated behind the tower here, and they're gonna initiate onto Mugi actually, and they gotta be careful. If you get the Jingu up, he cannot. This Boundless Strike misses onto crit, and Sumail will be able to finish off the kill. Tombstone actually cleaned up as well. We're gonna see the lift right back into the Undying, but he doesn't quite have enough damage to finish off Sumail. He does salve up a little bit there. Wasn't actually needed, and this will actually force him to go back to base. Let me see the roll from crit actually tries to hit onto Kaka, will not connect, and then the balance strike from Mugi. He has a magic stick, but it's not enough to keep him alive. Kaka gets the last auto attack off, which will secure the kill. There's actually a regen rune in the bottom lane, but Faith doesn't know that, so he walks all the way back to base. You see Sumail TP back in onto the mid lane and ballad up against the Monkey King once again, but now this is what I was talking about. He has to be worried about this. The Jingu up on the Monkey King can help him really turn around any of these ganks, so he has to be very cautious of allowing Mugi to get 4 Jingu stacks up. And this top lane matchup will be a full 1v1 with both supports from Newbee going to the mid lane, and this is going to favor Universe if anything. Matchup against Queen of Pain still isn't good, as you see just the creep score here, 25 denies on SCCC. Veno is a pretty low damage hero compared to Queen of Pain, and in addition, Queen of Pain can harass him out with the Shadow Strike, and he has a little bit of a range advantage as well. So not that fun of a matchup for Universe, but he's getting some last hits here and there. He actually even got the side pull off here, which is pretty big. Really good for him, which will allow him to last hit safely under tower, get all this free experience. And we're going to have Invis Rune up on Sumail. On the bottom lane, looks like KPI fighting up against Fear. Will have to jump himself away on the orb, but Crit is there to meet him. Gets the stun off and will roll in to finish off that kill. Nice kill there from Crit. And this is going to open up space for Arteezy, who's actually not farming that good. Again, Visage has a pretty bad animation, so both of Veno and Visage on the side of EG are not having that good lanes just because of their weakness in lane against the Queen and Puck. And we see a gank in the meantime in mid lane. Nice dodge there from Sumail on the Boundless Strike, which will allow him to live. Crit comes in with the stun, and it should clean up the Tombstone here. Now Crit, you gotta be careful. There's a Jingu monkey with 1 attack left, and he always back off and goes back in, gets the 150 gold there. That's value there. Fear has also showed up as well. And that's one thing about Ember versus Monkey. Ember has a lot of outplay potential on the Monkey. Normally you think Monkey would just win the matchup. It's melee, right? But he can do things like dodge the Boundless Strike with both Slight as well as the Remnants. I mean, he's only level 5, so he doesn't have Remnants quite yet, but you saw it there. Sumail with the value point and the Slight dodged the Boundless Strike, was able to survive and get away, and he also has a lot of burst potential on the Monkey with the Remnants once he gets it up. But he's still level 5, he needs to get this creep wave to hit 6, then he'll actually have kill potential into Mugi, and he also rotated to the bottom room there and got himself a DD. So Sumail definitely playing this matchup right. Monkey's still a little bit ahead at this point. We're going to see the roll in from Crit. Fear is here as well. He will pop out that Arctic Burn. Mugi will finally hit the stun there onto Sumail. He canceled it this time to make sure it was not dodged up. But Arteezy rotates his birds to the mid lane. Doesn't manage to save Sumail, and he might lose his birds here. He's going to save his Jingu. He needs like 1 attack onto it. That's it. Yeah, they will clean up 1 bird, which is a big deal. This bird has to be careful as well. And he won't have a resummon for another 86 seconds, so that is a while. So laning stage, not going too bad for Newbee, but EG is holding in there. Again, Newbie picked these lane dominators like the Queen of Pain as well as the Puck to get ahead in laning stage. Of course, the Undying picked there as well, but it feels like Undying is not really working out too well. It is a 5 position Undying, but he's starting fights at least, and the fights are kind of favoring Newbie, so things are going okay for now. But I feel like this Earth Sphere will just have a lot more impact once this game hits the mid-game phase. I'm going to see the rotation from Kaka in the bottom lane, but this ward from EG will scout out everything pretty much. There's Arteezy with his sad one bird. We'll have the resummon in 30 seconds. Orb out from Puck, just push the wave in, and EG clearly know what's going on, so they're not going to lose Arteezy to a gank. Crit is there to back him up. You know, on the mid lane, we got Fear ready to protect Samael in case anything goes wrong. They're actually going to look to go aggressive onto Mugi instead. Again, they have the Remnants. Nice dodge from Samael. Will, again, dodge the boundless strike. He goes in with the Remnants, secures the kill there onto Monkey, but the TP rotation comes in from SCCC. He blinks forward, gets the Scream of Pain to finish off Samael, finishes off Fear as well. And that was a really nice rotation from SCCC, will result in his double kill. And again, I think that Monkey King can play a similar role to how Arteezy played in the last game, where SCCC can be the sacrificial hero. I think the true damage dealer and the carry of the game can be SCCC. A lot of the heroes on EG are pretty squishy. You saw the Ember just got bursted there. Even if he has the magic damage shield from the Flame Guard, it wasn't enough. For the pure damage from Sonic Wave and additional magic damage coming out, they burst through his shield and was able to finish him off. See an attempt at a roll in there from Crit, but got blink away from SCCC. He should head back to the top lane. In addition, he's going for the Orchid to help deal with Ember Spirit again. They're a little bit lacking on disable for Ember, but with the Orchid, there's going to be more ways they can pick off Samael, at least until he gets a Yules or something like that to remove the Silence or a Lincoln Sphere. So we'll see a lane swap from Newbee actually. They'll send SCCC to the mid lane, and in the meantime Ogi will go to the top lane to stop this push from Universe. But Arteezy has also made the rotation with his birds, and now Newbee have to be pretty careful here, as Arteezy has 2 birds up once again in addition to a medallion, and they're going to look to take this safe lane tower. Fear actually will just TP out to defend against the bottom push here, and he's quite safe to do so, as the only one down there is the Puck, and they know that. And they will finish up the top tower. Kaka and Faith waiting in the trees. They're still fairly low level support, neither of them having level 6 yet. Faith is going for the max Tombstone build, which I feel like the Tombstone can die fairly easily. With EG's lineup, they got the Arctic Burn, from which wherever you can attack it from really far away and at a safe distance, in addition to having like Visage Bird to deal with them. We'll see how Undying still plays out. Again, he's not a very picked hero. I think it was the first time he's picked at this tournament. You see Mugi jump around in the trees, actually gets the Boundless Strike off, kills one bird from Arteezy. And I don't think they're going to get the other one. It should be able to fly away. He has the resummon as well. I'm going to open up the net worth chart here, and we'll see that SCCC with that nice double kill mid will be at the top, but Samael is not very far behind. We'll have a pretty fast Veil here, and once he gets that, they can look to start fighting and putting more pressure onto Newbee. Again, the time for the Newbee's strength is kind of over at this point. They didn't really get that far ahead out of the laning stage, so they're going to have to be very careful fighting EG as it is approaching mid-game, and EG's looking fairly strong, and they know it. They're going to go for the smoke gank. Oh, gank connects onto Mugi, and they won't actually manage to kill anybody. In the meantime, Fear dies bottom lane to SCCC and KPI. Back in the top lane, it looks like gank, even though it did connect, it didn't really have the follow-up, so they're just going to have to back away. But during that whole time, Universe was trying to do some damage to the tower. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to do too much as the catapult wasn't there anymore. while STCC with the gank onto Fear will finish up the bottom tower and farm towards his Orchid. He's going to have a pretty fast Orchid here. He had a free farm laning stage in addition to getting a couple of kills in the mid lane there. And this is going to mean that he's going to be online very fast. What is he, level 11 almost? Compare that to, I think, the next highest level in the game, which is Sumail, who's not even reached level 10 yet. Oh. And in addition, KPI is not having a bad lane himself either. He had a fairly good laning stage against the Visage. And he's going to have a pretty fast Blink Dagger, but EG's setting up shop in this top lane, and STCC will TP in. They're looking to contest this tier 2. Crit still level 5, just needs one more creep until he hits 6. Fear is already 6, and they're moving in here. They don't really have the best vision in the world, but they'll get the Arctic Burn initiation onto Kaka. Sumail will jump in. He has the Veil now. Stun from Crit hits onto everybody. Winter's Curse comes out, only hits onto Faith. That would just lock him in place. Visage Birds flying forward. We got the pop sound from the Dream Coil on everybody here, but here comes STCC. Comes in. Mugi jumps in as well. Doesn't have the Wukong's command. However, they really committed everything already. Boundless Strike does hit, but they really blew all their load, and they'll only get the Fear kill there. And they're going to ping out, but there's no ward from EG. That was just vision provided them from the Visage Birds and Arctic Burn. And Newbee had full eyes on this, but just didn't really execute that fight properly. They didn't really get a good initiation on anybody, and EG's heroes are fairly tanky. Visage, I believe, yeah, he will have the maxed out Gravekeepers and the level 4 Flame Guard on the Ember as well. Feels like at this point, Newbee a little bit lacking on damage and control. EG's manned up there. They didn't care about the Dream Coil at all. They ran forward, and Newbee will have to reset and look to take a better fight. Again, they're still at a little bit of advantage, but I would say just because of the overall draft, I just put EG ahead in the game. Because Universe is doing just fine. He has a Force Staff, a core item for him. That'll help him get out of sticky situations. Arteezy has the Medallion he's going into an Atos next, so no Midas or anything coming out from him. EG know that their draft is stronger if they get these early game items up, and they can just look to fight Newbee. I think Newbee later on in the game, with the Monkey King Queen of Pain dual core, they'll have a decent late game, but as for now, we see Kaka get caught out in the top lane here, and he will go down. Arteezy coming in there. Sumail in the meantime is getting a solo kill in the mid lane onto Faith, or actually no, that was with help from Crit. They actually committed the Earth Spirit ultimate there. Magnetize. SCCC does have the Orchid now, and he has his ultimate up again in 13 seconds, and he might be looking to make a play here top. Universe continue to put pressure on this top tower, and they put all these sentries here to de-ward EG, but they put a very smart ward here right next to the tower, in front of the tower. So what will Sumail's next item be? It will just be a Boots of Travel. This will give him more split push potential. Again, he still has to be careful of the Orchid and the Silence from the Puck, who does have a Blink Dagger now, I believe. And he's going for the Yules next to help him survive against the Earth Spirit Silence. The Searing Chains for Ember as well. And Newbee going for a smoke. It will be a 3-man smoke. Mugi is going to show himself under the ward. The scan comes out from both teams, and EG will know what's going on. We're going to see the TP from Sumail onto the Birds from Visage. The Tombstone gets dropped, but it gets immediately cleaned up. And SCCC comes in with a huge nuke onto Sumail as well as the Orchid, and Sumail gets burst almost immediately. However, Arteezy is manning up, and he's fighting. He's taking out KPI. The Venom ultimate hits onto everybody, and Newbee has no choice but to disengage. However, Crit comes in with initiation, but the silence from SCCC comes out too fast. They clean Crit up, but he's already done the damage and catching them out and forcing them to turn. And EG will clean up another kill there, a triple kill for Arteezy. And look at the fight recap there. That was a huge fight for EG. They're going to finish up this top tower finally. Kako actually TPing in. It's pretty dangerous, but again, with crit dead, he doesn't have to be worried about getting jumped. And they'll just slow the push a little bit. Manages to steal Plague Wars as well, which is a really nice spell. And again, I just not feeling the impact of his Undying. He's level 6, about to hit level 7 Undying. He's dropping the Tombstone dying immediately, just feeding more gold to EG. And I mean, who cares, right? Again, I don't like 5 position Undying. I feel like if you're going to run Undying at all, I might as well have him play 4 and get some extra farm and levels up. But it is going to be Faith on Undying, and I don't really understand it. I guess it's like, how much did the zombies attack for? I feel like I just don't get the Undying pick at all. They picked it for laning stage. It did okay in laning stage, but it wasn't enough to warrant the pick, in my opinion. And now they're just going to lack Disable for the Ember. Well, for now they don't because they have the Orchid, but when he gets the Yules, he's going to be definitely a big problem in this game. And speaking of big problems, I think Arteezy's already reached that point where he's almost unkillable, and his birds are dishing out a ton of damage, and I don't know how they deal with him at this point. Again, they can like just build up a ton of damage on Monkey King, and if the birds get out of position, they can die very fast, or if Arteezy's Gravekeeper's cloak is burned through. But Monkey King is not looking like he's in that position right now. He'll just finish up this first item, Diffusal Blade, which is picked up for the Ember Spirit, I guess, but I feel like a first item Deso would have been more value this game. Not only does it allow him to push towers, maybe potentially get Roshan, but having that minus armor applied to all these heroes is a pretty big deal. Because sure, getting rid of the Flame Guard is nice, but I feel like just subtracting Sumail's armor, allowing him to die faster, would just be as good. And we'll see how this Diffusal pays up for Mugi. Newbee in a pretty scared position right now. Again, they don't have eyes on EG. They have very defensive wards up, and they're just looking to get some information out of the map, waiting for someone from EG to show, and they're probably going to smoke immediately. Yep, as soon as that happens. And they are showing Mugi in the bottom lane, and they're using him as a bait. They're going to smoke towards him, but EG kind of knows what's up. Again, they also don't have that much vision on the map right now, and they see this Monkey King in the bottom lane. It looks like clear bait, and they'll just back themselves up. And they'll actually get intercepted by Newbee as they run straight into crit here, and they'll clean up 1 kill for themselves. So the smoke will connect there onto the 4 position from EG. In the meantime, Mugi will just have this whole bottom lane to farm up, and he did farm up a decent amount of gold during that time. Arteezy poking in here. He's feeling quite confident because he's quite tanky with this Rod of Atos, but the same cannot be said for Fear as he gets caught out. Silence comes out. Tombstone gets dropped. Kaka falls almost immediately. Tombstone dies once again. Dream Coil hits onto 2. Mugi comes in with the Wukong's command, and Arteezy's stuck in it. He needs to get out. The Boundless Strike stops him from doing so, but he will get out. And you see how tanky Visage is with the Gravekeepers and having this extra HP from the Rod of Atos. And so, EG, I would say that's not a bad trade. They lose 2 supports. That was another smoke from Newbee, but they're making plays on the map right now. And EG realized they're not as strong anymore with this Orchid onto the Queen of Pain. They really need the Yules on Ember. And we'll have it in like 200 gold. And I think once they get that, they can start to look for another fight. And again, Sumail has a haste rune as well. He's playing aggressive here onto SCCC, but SCCC gets the blink away. He's going for the BKB. He wants to man up in these fights, not to worry about the Ember Spirit's magic damage or crit, but he still has to be careful because Arteezy does do a ton of physical damage with his birds, so he can't really go full ham. If these birds are hitting for full damage, he gets the Solar Crest off. He does have to be careful, so can't just blink in and man up, even with the BKB. Fully man up at least. Again, he has to be careful as well because Winter Wyvern has the Winter's Curse, so he'll happily just pop that to waste some BKB duration for the Queen of Pain if they really need to. So Sumail will have the Yule Scepter completed now, and This means that he's a little bit harder to kill for the Queen of Pain. I mean, I would say actually a lot harder to kill now. They don't have any really real stuns on the side of EG, and you're gonna see the initiation onto Queen. And she doesn't yet have her BKB. They get the Dream Coil in. Balance Strike connects as well, and it's just gonna be a weird mid-fight as no one has died quite yet. But here comes Sumail. He goes in with a triple remnant, catches Mugi out. We'll get the Searing Chain, burns down Mugi, and who will be the first to fall? We get the Winter's Curse. Really nice placement there onto Faith, and he will fall. Nice two-man stun as well. Hits onto a KPI, and Sumail gets himself a double kill there. And that will be a one fight for EG. They lose nobody, and they don't even take that much damage. They can earn right back up, and they're going to take this tier 1 and look to go towards the tier 2 as well. Crit rolls up in case any hero is up here, trying to pick a bounty rune or anything like that, and no. EG gonna head towards the tier 2. Kaka moves forward, but Crit is in position. Gets the stun, gets the silence as well. The Gale connects, and Kaka will lose his life here. He was just trying to be a little bit cheeky there and stall the tower push, but instead he'll be punished. This will allow SCCC to push out the bottom lane. He does have his BKB complete now, but Sumail is already waiting in the trees to potentially set up for a gank, but SCCC smells it coming, and he'll TV back home, pick up his BKB, and I think at this point, with the BKB on SCCC, they can potentially look a fight, but again, ideally they want this BKB on Mugi as well. He is building up for one as well, and he needs quite a bit of gold to complete his, so I feel like there's a little bit of a time window here for EG to just play aggressively once again. They just need to push out their lanes. He got the smoke onto Crit. He's kind of close to his Blink Dagger as well, and ideally he gets that before the next fight, but he's having pretty good initiations and stuns even without this Blink Dagger, so I think Newbee has to be worried with these upcoming fights. Again, I just don't really understand their draft this game. I mean, it worked out really well in the laning stage, but they didn't really get that far ahead or anything. It was not like last game where KPI just got destroyed by EG, and you're gonna see the solo kill there. Did have to commit the Sonic Wave on SCCC, but he kills Crit, and he was kind of close to his Blink Dagger, so pretty unfortunate death there for Crit. But with the Sonic Wave committed, and Queen of Pain also being pretty low mana, I think EG feels confident to contest Roshan here, or go for it. I mean, not contest it, but maybe he knows that this is going on. They had the ward placed. Fear tries to place the counter ward, and I really like this positioning from him. He'll intercept any heroes going in to try to contest this Roshan. We're going to see the Puck instead drop some wards from the top side, and Fear gets the Winter's Curse onto Kaka. It's going to just hold them back in place just to create some space for this Roshan. Again, Queen of Pain already committed most of her mana as well as her ultimate, and she doesn't really want to contest Roshan at this point in time. Instead, she's going to put some split push pressure in the top lane. You see Ember go in. He gets the Searing Chains, cancels SCCC's TP. SCCC will BKB and just hold his ground. What is going on? He's like in a ditch. What the heck is this? He's like in a little cubby in the trees here, and he manages to evade EG. They don't see him. Crit's still looking for him. He knows that he doesn't have a TP, but he blinks out the other side. They use the scan, but it doesn't hit onto him, and SCCC will make the escape. Did have to commit his 10-second BKB charge, but he won't lose his life. In the meantime, though, Sumail didn't even bother chasing him. He's just more worried about pushing the creep wave back out. Fear, level 11 onto him. He did go for the 7 strength talent. Normally, I think Winter Wyverns go for the int, but he just wants to be a little bit more tanky. And Winter Wyvern's strength gain isn't actually that bad. His base strength is pretty good as well, but I mean, the 7 strength might save him in a fight, which is pretty important because he can actually get a lot done in these fights if he can survive throughout. With the Arctic Burn being on a relatively low cooldown once he maxes it out, 20 seconds, if he gets like 2 Arctic Burns in a fight, he can do a ton of damage. We've seen a lot of Winter Wyverns transition into like a semi-carry almost. I think there's Kuroki in that one liquidy game with the Bloodthorn, And EG has really good warnings.
Dyer's bottom tower's under attack.
Got a deep ward behind the tower here. Some nice warding in Mugi's jungle. This is a really good ward against Monkey King. It'll give a little bit of high ground vision in case he jumps to any of these trees.
What's the matter with you?
Smail will be going for the Lincoln Sphere as his next item. He already completed up a Maelstrom. Bottom tower was taken out by EG as last tier 1 in the game, and they're going to go towards this tier 2 as well. They have a catapult accompanying them. Fear and Crit will take up a position in the trees. They're just going to front line here with Visage Birds and some Venom wards. We have some enemy Venom wards join the fray as well, as Kaka did get the Plague Ward steal, but Fear with initiation ults Kaka in the middle of the creep wave. He actually takes a decent amount of damage from his own creeps there, and then he'll finish up the kill. Universe getting it there, and they're going to push in, take the tier 2, and look to take the tier 3 afterwards, I'm assuming, with Kaka dead. But SCCC going with the split push plays again. They don't really have that much kill potential on him now that he has the BKB. He gets used up in the air, so I was just trying to buy time. He wants to hold SCCC here, because again, they're doing the damage in the bottom lane. He's actually doing work onto SCCC. He will blink away. Can he get the cancel? He doesn't hit the Searing Chain, so SCCC will be able to go back home. Smail, of course, can join his team at any time with the Boots of Travel. Plague Wards adding up, and the Catapult still kept alive. They're going to use the Solar Crest onto it to make sure it doesn't die there. Actually evaded one tower shot there. Kaka will respawn. TP is in fairly aggressively. And now the TP will come in from Smail. We get the initiation right onto KPI. He uses himself in the air, but SCCC with a nice Sonic Wave. He will BKB, and they're going to man up. Crit already loses his life now. Arteezy taking a ton of damage. He doesn't have the Aegis, as that's Smail's. And Universe getting stunned up in the trees, but with the Balance Strike committed, he's just going to TP out. EG going to go for the full retreat here. They did get the tier 3, and now Fear in trouble. He gets silenced up by SCCC. He'll get his right click down. And Smail and Universe will live, but I would say that was a really good fight for Newbee with the double BKB on Queen of Pain and the Monkey King. They were able to just man up in that fight. They got a really good Wukong's command off, and Arteezy was trapped in it. And with the Monkey Kings hitting him, they did burn through his Gravekeepers, and from there he was very squishy along with his birds. So he lost everything there. He lost his life, he lost his birds, and doing a decent job of holding high ground, I guess. They got the employee damage from the Flesh Golem. I'm surprised he leveled it up level 2. It only increases the max damage amp by 25. And the thing about Undying is the damage amp is based on his positioning from the enemy heroes. So you only get the max damage amp if he's like right on top of someone. So yeah, it actually turns out to be pretty bad if you do the math. And I'm not going to do the math, but it just doesn't feel value. They're probably going to change how this spell works, and they're going to change Undying a little bit, because he's not that strong. And let's see what's going to happen, that they give Kaka the 4-position farm. Let's see what he does with it. He's going for an Ags. He has 2 pieces of it. He already completed a Glimmer as well, which will help against the magic damage on the side of EG, as they have a lot of it. I'm surprised that no one went for a pipe. Oh, okay, Undying is going for the pipe. He's just straight rushing it. Brown Boots pipe. That is value. And SCCC back with the split push plays. And SCCC really opening up the map for his team. Anytime EG are grouping up, they have very immobile heroes, right? The only mobile hero in the map is Smail and I guess Crit. But the only mobile core is Smail, so he's the only one who's going to make plays. Crit really wants to play with the rest of his team, and this is allowing SCCC to just split push very aggressively, as he doesn't really have to be worried about anybody, because even Smail can never solo kill him. And he's just going to push right onto the high ground, give some attacks onto the tier 3 without a care in the world. And these stolen Plague Wards also doing a lot of work here for Kaka. It's helping them just hold off these pushes, push out the lanes themselves. And Mugi does get caught out in the top lane here. Crit comes in with a nice stun. He doesn't get his BKB off in time. He's already quite low. They might be able to finish him off with some right clicks, but no, he just drops the Wukong's command down. Dream Coral buys some space, and he TPs back home. SCCC did come in for the fight, but he's currently standing directly under an EG ward. I don't know if he knows it or not, but that was pretty funny. He was dancing right on top of it. KPI, mid lane, we'll just be pushing the waves out. Again, I think Newbee's game at this point is just wave clear, but Kaka getting caught out. Tried to TP back home, but the Visage Birds were in position. And that's 3 birds. Arteezy does have the Aghanims now. Going for the Sheep Stick next. This will give EG some much more needed disable. And they're going to go in and take the last tier 2. And they've already took out the top shrine here. The bottom shrine is still up though. It didn't really take any damage either. But EG pushes in through the mid lane, and with Kaka dead, they want to maybe go for the Rax here. Again, they don't have the Aegis this time around, and we were able to successfully defend last time, even with the Aegis. And now, Flesh Golem committed. Tombstone not dropped yet. Samael will just back away. Visage Birds left to do work onto this Rax. Now we're going to see the Tombstone, but Faith taking a ton of damage. It's going to try to heal himself. Dreamcrow comes in, but Faith will fall. Rax taking damage in the meantime, though. No balance strike from the Monkey King. Visage Birds get dropped, and they're going to heal right back up. This should be a lost Rax here. I don't see this being defended, but no, the backdoor starts to kick in. Mugi comes in. Here comes the Wukong's command, and they can't finish off the Rax. And he's just going to attack everybody, but they will all get out of the Wukong's command. The balance strike will come out. It hits onto 2. Crit falls in the back line. Venom ult onto everybody. Everyone's falling super low. However, SCCC comes in, but again, they don't have the damage output. Samael still quite healthy, but he is out of mana. The Visage Bird's alive as well, even though Arteezy did fall. Everybody's dead. It's a bloodbath, and they might be able to go back in for the Rax here. Again, they're still fighting backdoors. They don't have a creep wave. Remember, they pushed in through mid and then tried to go bottom. The buyback comes out from KBI. If we can get a couple of heroes picked off here, this would be big, but instead they're more worried about these Visage Birds backdooring, and instead they're going to focus on cleaning them up. So buyback was committed there from KPI to make sure they don't lose this Rax. And I'm not sure if it was quite needed. Maybe the Visage Birds might have been enough to backdoor, but I really don't think so. I guess they just didn't really see, and they're afraid. And the creep wave was coming quite soon, and as a result, that fight, I mean, that was not that bad for Newbee. It wasn't good either. Again, Samael and Universe live. Universe is very tanky, by the way, because he has this pipe. And now he is built up into Heaven's Halberd as well. And also completed Hurricane Pike, so he's quite strong. The next item will look to be a Bloodthorn. So Universe, with all these team fights going EG's way and surviving them, he's scaling fairly well. He's already level 21 on this Venomancer. Hit that level 70 or that level 20 talent for the plus 75 damage, and he's hitting quite hard now. There's a fly in my face. Kaka almost getting caught out on the top lane, but he will be able to TP out this time. No Visage Birds to cancel him. And SCCC back to the split pushing game. He will be going for a Mjolnir. That's going to help him in that pursuit. You see Faith not complete his pipe yet, but they find an Arcane Rune, and they're going to use this to smoke up. So they feel like with this Arcane Rune, SCCC can just do so much work. Get the Dream Coil onto Universe, but he just gets double force-staffed away. Faith gets caught out with the Searing Chains on the low ground. He did already drop the Tombstone, and the Flesh Golem comes out. He'll heal himself with a pretty significant heal, but again, that's what I was saying before. SCCC taking so much damage from the Visage Birds, he has to blink away. So even with BKB, he has to fear his life if he fights next to these Visage Birds. Kaka gets caught out. Somehow Faith has still managed to live till now, but he doesn't look to live long. No, there's another heal coming out from him. He's actually doing a decent amount of work in this fight. He's amplifying all this damage from Newbee, and they're going to be able to maybe clean up Samael's Arcane Rune and allowing SCCC to blink away. Mugi was just left to try to man up under Wukong's command, and Crit is the only one to die. Samael still manages to live through the whole thing. He blinks forward, does not catch SCCC, and EG just feel unkillable. The Cold Embrace from Fear just doing so much work and healing up, and Arteezy is just full HP. Has a 17 wand charge, did not even go low in that fight at all. And now they're going to move forward with 4 dead on the side of Newbee. They claim this range Rax, and they're going to get the melee as well. Looks like Arteezy actually lost 1 bird here. SCCC blinks forward onto Universe and Sumail. Sumail is pretty low mana. He pops the BKB, but he's taking so much right-click damage from Universe. They even commit the Winter Wyvern's ultimate there just to hold Sumail or SCCC in place, but Kaka comes out with the stolen ultimate, will only lock Universe in place alone. Ortiz comes in with the birds. He's doing a ton of damage here to Kaka. Kaka's going to try to live this off, but I don't think he can. The tombstone gets dropped from Fate. The heal comes out as well. These are huge heals. Undying actually pretty value in this game because of all the units. And he's taking a ton of damage now from the Visage Birds. He will fall to Arteezy. And SCCC gets caught out in the back there next to his tier 4s, and he will fall. Immediate buyback coming out from him. Newbee is fighting for their base. The Wukong commands come out. The Boundless Strike connects, but is not going to kill anybody. Everyone manages to walk away. Universe, however, will be the only victim as he falls, and they're looking to look for more. Puck blinks forward, gets caught in the searing chains. The stun comes out as well. He's going to be immediately burst by Arteezy and his nuke. SCC comes forward, kind of misses the sonic wave there. Balance Strike does a ton of damage there onto Arteezy, and he will fall. They're going to clean up his birds as well. SCCC blinks forward. He wants more, but Sumail, he's very fast with the Yules as well as Booster Travel. He gets away, and Newbee hold their mid-racks, but they still had to commit several buybacks for that. I guess they only used one. The Puck buyback was in the previous fight. But it is a big buyback. It was SCCC, and I think if they don't get Roshan here, it's not worth it. But both Universe as well as Arteezy have their buybacks, so maybe have to be very cautious here of how they approach this rush. They will commit for it. They don't have any minus armor to make this faster. Again, Mugi didn't go for the Desolator build, but they're gonna do their best to try to take this Roshan. Faith amplifies the damage with his Flesh Golem, drops a Tombstone as well. Sumail being a nuisance here, and he's doing a ton of damage as well with just these Sleight of Fist and the Maelstrom procs. And Roshan falling low, Sumail going for the steal. The Boundless Strike from Mugi, well timed, hits Sumail as soon as he enters. They drop the Wukong's command. Sumail gets the kill there onto Roshan. It goes to the Radiant. Mugi snatches the Aegis, however. Sumail will manage to remnant away. He saves his life there, but Fear and Crit has already fallen. SCCC blinks forward. He wants Sumail. They catch Universe in the Dream Curl. They're fighting under the shrine, however. Mugi blinks forward again. He did pick up the Aegis, so he doesn't really have to worry about dying here. Jam on the ground, and he gets another nice Boundless Strike. Hits onto Universe, and it will finish up the kill there. So that's 3 dead on the side of EG. The Aegis will be popped as he takes down to the poison, but in the meantime, though, their base is getting shredded by these super creeps, and SCCC will be forced to not buy back, but TP back and defend. Really big fight there for Newbee. They got the Roshan, even though they managed to get the Rosh kill on the side of EG. They picked up the Aegis on Mugi and were able to clean up that fight. Arteezy, of course, wasn't there for that fight as he was still respawning and he couldn't get in position to do so. As the fight was pretty much over by the time he was respawned. Universe was there, but I mean, he couldn't do much. He was here, cleaned up the Aegis, but that fight was over when that nice Boundless Strike from Mugi connected there onto Sumail as soon as he blinked in. I feel like if he didn't get hit by that, he would have been able to probably snatch the Aegis. But the follow-up stuns came out, and it's just full chaos in the Rosh pit. And the fact that Mugi just got his BKB off, just manned up with the Wukong's command. EG don't really have the capabilities fighting into Monkey King's ultimate at this point, as he's scaling with this Diffusal 2. He's burning a lot of mana as well. And SCCC has gotten to that point where he's level 25 with the Mjolnir, so even though he doesn't have buyback, he's still very hard to kill. So I mean, I would like to say that EG can kill him and win the game, but he's not an easy kill, and they don't want to commit too much just to kill him, as he can just be a damage soak at that point and then dish out a ton of damage in return with the Mjolnir, Shiva's guard, and all his nukes. Because Mugi's getting to that point where, again, he's starting to scale fairly hard, and Monkey King does a lot with very little items. So you see here, he's lower net worth than both Ortiz and Universe, but he's just feeling like he's having such an impact in these fights. It doesn't really show it in his score, but His balance strikes have just been on point. It always hits onto multiple targets for the most part, or at least a crucial target in the team fight. And again, Newbee are pretty lacking on disable, so the fact that he's getting these really nice balance strikes off in these team fights is mattering a lot when it comes to Newbee being able to take them. But EG look like they're going to smoke up as 5, and they're going to go straight onto the high ground. They're going to send the Visitor Birds right onto the melee racks. They're starting to do some damage, but they're quite low. They're getting nuked down, and Faith frontlining here for his team. The Plague Wards are getting dropped. They're not level 25 Plague Wards quite yet. And EG looking to just brute force here onto the high ground. And I don't really quite know about this. You might get it, but oh, Winter's Curse using the backline there onto SCCC. They try to jump onto him. They combo up the stun, but he gets his BKB off, and he's going to start healing now. He starts auto-attacking Samael. He blinks away. Arteezy taking a ton of damage here. They don't quite burst him in time. There comes the Sonic Wave. SCCC heals up to full. Samael comes in. He wants to man up. The puck goes down to crit in the backline there, but Faith actually tanking up so much damage. He's amplifying as well as he's standing right next to Samael, and he will go down to the magic damage. The Boundless Strike hits, and it cleans up too. Fear is the only survivor. Faith will finally fall, but he's done his job. This Undying, I doubted him, but he's actually able to do so much here. Keep in mind, Undying amplifies more damage the closer he is to the enemy team, and he's standing right on top of these heroes, and with the all this damage coming out from the Monkey King, the Wukong's command, Queen of Pain as well, the fact that Faith is able to stand in the middle of these team fights with the pipe active, healing himself, healing his teammates, and amplifying all this damage on the side of Newbee, he's doing so much work, and I think that EG need to pay more attention to this Undying. They can't let him live for that long in these team fights, because again, they're focused on the Queen of Pain, but she's just healing up. They're trying to take out the Monkey King, but he's healing up as well with the Jingu, and at this point, Newbee is just standing and fighting. That's their game plan right now. They don't care how much damage EG have. They have the sustain to do so with the spell amp from the Queen of Pain, as well as the Jingu lifesteal from the Monkey King, and they're just holding their ground, dropping the tombstone down, and throwing at EG everything they've got. And they did hold the mid racks there. EG getting cocky and trying to just walk up and straight force the high ground push, and it's going to result in them losing the mid racks. They also had to use the buyback there as well on Universe, but it was really for nothing as the racks fell anyway. And now this is going to open up shrines as well for Mugi to take. Next, Roshan will be, we don't know when it's going to spawn yet, but we'll know in about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. If a smoke flying out for Newbee here, and I mean a secret hero that has been making plays is Kaka. He has the Aghanims now, and he's stolen the Venom Wards time and time again. Again, it's a really easy spell to steal, but he's creating a lot of space for Newbee in these fights, and that's one of the main reasons why they can't just focus Faith down. Faith is standing there and having faith in his team that they're going to cover him, because he needs the front line. He needs to be there to provide his team all that spell amp, be in there with the heals as well from the Soul Rip. And as a 5 position dying, I feel like he's just be dying against EG's lineup, but he's not, because of all this space created for him from both Puck as well as Kaka. So KPI and Kaka doing their job in this game as the true disablers on the side of Newbee, or initiators. KPI more the initiator than anybody, as he's the only blink carrier on the team right now actually. SCCC has a blink, but he's not really an initiator. He does complete a Bloodthorn now, and he's insanely farmed. I mean, SCCC has been having an amazing game ever since the laning stage. Only 1 death onto him so far. He's 14, 1, and 11, and Mugi doing a great job as well. And he's looking really strong now in this Monkey King. He completed up a Scuddy now, so he's a lot tankier, a lot more difficult to bring down, and he's soon to reach that level 25 talent. And once that plus 100% boundless strike crit comes out, he's gonna start melting these heroes. I mean, it feels like they're just burning through Arteezy's Gravekeepers so much, and then at that point he's just melting, and a lot of it is just the Wukong's command hitting onto him, and it just pretty much immediately takes out his Gravekeepers, and from that point onward he just feels super squishy. And even with this Assault Cures on him, I feel like it's not enough. And there's not really anything to do to get tankier, right? If he gets caught in the Wukongs, he's pretty much done for. And it's hard for him to leave, as he's usually slowed up or caught into like zombies or something like that. KPI starting to get farmed himself as well as he's pushing out the top wave. We'll go back to the net worth here, and we'll see that, I mean, he's fairly low, but he's catching back up in farm, and he's about to hit a level 25 talent. And once he gets that, I mean, he doesn't have to worry about the gold ever again in his life. Mugi will be going for the MKB as his next item pickup. As for EG, they're playing very cautious now because they have to be afraid of Newbee actually jumping them. Again, they used the buyback there onto Universe, and their heroes are starting to peter out. Universe with that buyback, and he's not going to complete his next items. He had the same 3 items for a while now. He's actually saving up for buyback again, even though he doesn't have it, which is interesting, instead of just buying his Orchid. I don't know what that is, unless his Orchid is on the courier. No, and it's not. And Newbee feeling quite confident now. They have a 6,000 net worth advantage. Faith has scaled fairly well as well. Again, he has a plus 90 gold per minute talent, so even as a 5 position, he's actually getting a lot of gold, even if he has to buy all these wards, so Kaka can get his items up. And speaking of Kaka, he's a gem. He has a 4 staff now. It's going to help him be more survivable, and he's going for a pipe of his own. If they can double pipe, they can mitigate all of the magic damage from Universe and Samael, and I feel like they don't really care about the physical damage from the side of EG because these heroes just aren't able to right click, and Visage has completely kind of like petered out because of the Monkey King. I feel like the Monkey King was a really smart pick against the Visage. With the Wukong's command, the birds have to go in. RTZ has to go in with them because if he's not next to his birds, they'll just die to like one boundless strike or something like that. So he always has to be in range so the birds get the extra resistance from the Gravekeepers. But then if he's too close to the birds, he'll get caught in the Wukongs, and then his Gravekeeper gets taken out anyway. In addition to like Queen of Pain, who's able to just throw the Shadow Strike onto him, which will also burn through the Gravekeepers, I believe, because it is... I know it's 50 damage, but is that before or after reductions? I didn't know, but I forgot. But the Shadow Strike does 75, so I'm not so sure. I mean, I guess it's plus Spell Lamp, right? So it should be, yeah, it does like 82. Should be. If we do the math, it should be. Unless he has Pipe on him, of course. But the only Pipe they have right now is Universes. So... at this point, and I believe it is before reductions actually, I just remembered. So anyway, SCCC catches out a bird here with his Bloodthorns. Nice 100 gold for him. Yeah, I think RTZ has the resummon. They get the initiation onto Faith. Again, this is really important for EG, but the Glimmer Cape saves Faith's life. He's still silenced up. He drops the Tombstone. Couldn't manage to get the heal off, and he will get taken out. And Samael jumping in really deep in the backline here to catch up the rest of Newbee, but uh-oh, Samael goes down, Mugi comes in, really nice Winter's Curse, the buyback comes in from Samael, he will TP onto the birds, but SCCC mans up, look at the damage he's able to do with the Bloodthorn. His mana is burned though, as he's used a lot of it for that fight, and he'll have to back off and heal up. Mugi did get caught up by the Venom, but that was the buyback committed from Samael. It's really important to get this Roshan. Can Newbee get in position to defend this? Do they have boots to travel? They need it. The Queen of Pain will TP out. They want to get here as fast as they can, but I don't think it's going to be fast enough as this Rosh is falling very quickly with the Solar Crest. And Roshan will fall, picked up by Samael. But again, I think he can die twice in these fights fairly easily. He did pick up the Octarine now. He's going to drop his Veil for this Aegis, but I don't know. The only hero to die on the side of Newbee is Faith, and he actually could have lived there, I think, if he healed himself. He wanted to drop Tombstone and then heal, so he would get more, and he was close to getting it off. The Glimmer from Kaka really saving his life there. Otherwise, he would have immediately died. I feel like if he just had this 4-staff completed, but he's saving for buyback.
Double damage empowers me.
And it's going to be DD picked up from Samael. Again, EG still have to play very cautious. They have to 5-man. Just notice they've been playing together as a 4-man group. They can't afford to split up around the map, especially because KPI has a Hex now, as their heroes get picked off very easily if they're not together. Again, I did mention before that their cores are very immobile, so they don't have that much escape potential, and compare that to Newbee that has a Monkey King and a Queen of Pain. They can move around the map, they can scout out for themselves, and they can pretty much do things solo, while EG really need to be there as a group. And EG kind of lost their time window to end the game when they could just 5-man and Newbee weren't able to fight. They got to this late game where this Queen of Pain is incredibly hard to deal with, and this Monkey King as well. And even the Undying as the 5 position has started to, you know, has his impact in the game. As EG's going for these high ground pushes. Uh-oh, look at that. The Visage Birds get sent forward and they immediately get taken out. And does Arteezy have the resummon? He does. But if that happens again, he won't be able to have his birds, and at that point his hero just feels like doesn't really do anything at that point. I mean, he's literally just an aura, I guess, and he's just wasted a 4,000 gold item for nothing, because then if his birds die, I mean, it's actually just doing nothing other than giving him stats. Then from there, he's literally armor and a Rod of Atos and a 4-staff. It's sad to say, but that's literally all he is. And he has some slows and nuke damage, but it's not really bothering Newbee that much at this point. The Rubik pick was pretty smart as well, as it's also giving the no field aura. So in addition to the pipe, they have a lot of magic resistance on the side of Newbee, and EG's almost entirely magic damage, except for the Visage Birds. But at this point, they can't deal damage because they have to fight into the Wukong's command to deal damage, and if they fight into the Wukong's command, they'll die, and Arteezy will die. So Mugi, this Monkey King, really crucial to EG defending the high ground. I just don't see a way they can catch him out and like kill him, and he'll have his BKB, he'll get it off, and if he drops the Wukongs, they'll have to back. And at that point, it messes up EG's engagement because they don't really want to take a prolonged engagement against Newbee. Ideally, they want to like burst these heroes and take them out, because prolonged engagements, if anything, is going to favor SCCC and Louis, and this Undying, of course. But it will snipe the tier 3 here, and they're just looking to slowly chip away at Newbee's base. Again, Newbee doesn't want to just commit because this Aegis on Sumail and she's on Arteezy. Mugi actually gonna buy out for a battle free, so he's accepting the fact that they might have to fight against Mega Creeps here if EG sieges this and manages to take all their racks. We do have the stolen play wards again onto Kaka, definitely helping out in defending this push, and I feel like they can snipe a tier 3, but they can't do the same to racks. They might be able to do so to the range racks, but definitely not the melee. It's just way too deep in. Sumail gets the DD rune again. It's gonna show up, pop out some searing chains. If the birds die again, there's another resummon from Arteezy. I'm assuming they did if he's gonna resummon. Either that or they're on the verge of dying. It's gonna lift back Kaka. But again, the balance strike almost one-shots the bird if Arteezy doesn't have his complete gravekeepers up. So this is just Chinese hold the high ground Dota right now for Newbee, as they're most likely waiting out for this Aegis. And wait a second, Kaka actually stole Arctic Burn, and it's Aghanim Arctic Burn, so he has this ability at his whim, and he can fly around on his broomstick or his staff. Alright, that's a pretty nice ability to burn. It's a really strong ability to burn as well. It costs him a lot of mana, but I mean, he's level 23, has a decent amount of pool to work with at this point.
A tool to teach.
And he did go for the Lotus, and that will help out in some sense. It can remove the silence from himself. It's good as well against this. Wait, Arteezy didn't go for Hex. I guess they have a Bloodthorn. Fear in the trees here. He'll keep himself away. He did get level 20, so we'll start scaling with that GPM talent. And I think at this point, EG will probably take this late game, but I mean, it's already late game, so I mean, what's next for them? They're gonna wait for a Winter Wave to scale. That's the only thing. And he's not really building items to scale as a core. He's going for a Lotus of his own. Again, Lotus really important in this super late game. Once the hexes come out, it's only one of the answers to hex, other than like 4 staffs. But I mean, I'm sure they have loads of 4 staff already, right? Yeah, they got 2. And it's 55 minutes in the game. The Aegis did expire, I believe. Yep. And they still have the cheese there on Arteezy, but this means that they're going to back away from the high ground. This is going to open some space for Newbee to get some position on the map again. At this point, they were kind of stuck, and they just placed this triangle wards to cover their base pretty much, but they're gonna start moving out now. And Mugi with the Battle Fear is actually gonna be able to push out the lanes very quickly. EG still positioning themselves as a group. Again, they do not want to get picked off by Newbee. That would be a huge problem because they're fairly strong if they fight all as 5. But if they ever fight fight that's like split up or too spread out, Mugi definitely will capitalize on that, as well as SCCC, as they have the more mobile cores, as I said before. They'll just start losing heroes left and right in the fight, and let's see something like that there as Universe gets caught up to the rest of his team. Oh, Lotus Orb onto Universe causes KPI to hex himself there. We got the heal as well, but then SCCC comes in with the jump, and Boundless Strike cleans up Universe. Wukong's command doesn't really hit onto much there other than Universe. And this means that RTV will be able to play in the sideline, but it looks like he's already lost all his birds to something. Again, they just have so much damage everywhere. It's hard for him to keep his birds alive. This game just feels really difficult. He did lose the range tracks to these catapults in the top lane, but again, these range tracks don't really feel like they matter too much. I think Newbee's totally fine with losing both of their ranged. It's really these melees that are the big deal, as it can push out the lane so fast, as they kind of have 2 heroes that can push out the lane at this point. Mugi has a boost of travel now, so he'll be able to split push fairly well and push the lane safely, so he doesn't really have to worry about any heroes anymore. Again, Arteezy's birds are dying. He's kind of feeling like a non-hero at this point. They've missed their timing, and it already started with that mid push where they committed way too deep to try to go for these racks, and they underestimated Newbee's ability to hold their high ground. Kind of similar thing happened in the Virtus Pro versus Liquid game yesterday, where Virtus Pro just waltzed right up in the high ground, thought they were safe to take the mid racks, then they already took like one of the side lanes, and then they just lost one fight, and the game suddenly looked really hard from there. And now EG kind of in a similar situation, but they're not out of it by far. It's going to take some ingenuity though for them to find a way to win this game, because I just don't see it. I mean, it has to be something to do with this Winter Wyvern, like they have to get like a really good ultimate off or something like that. Monkey King kills his own teammate. I don't really know, but I just don't see how they win. But I don't see how Newbee, I mean, I see how Newbee wins, but it's not going to be without EG making a mistake. So they're kind of at a stalemate, and we might be in for a really long one here, guys. But Roshan just spawned up, gets spotted out by the Plague Ward. So this might be where the game ends, or it might be where nothing happens, everyone dies, and the game gets reset again. So we'll see what actually happens here, as Newbee looking to go in aggressive. Oh, they find Universe split up from his team again. The Lotus Orb comes out, but doesn't do anything to protect them. He does have the buyback, but Crit is in trouble as well. He gets forced after the high ground, and there's the Winter's Curse onto SCCC, but she's isolated from her whole team. Again, Newbee not really clumping so that Fear can get good Winter's Curse off, and there's Mugi doing some work on the sideline there, finishing off Fear. He will go down, gets the extra Jingu, and that's already 3 dead on the side of EG, and 2 of them don't have buyback. The 2 supports, they go forward, they get the kill there onto TZ as well. Where are his birds? They're just dead. Oh no, they're hiding in the back line. They're doing something with these zombies. There's just so many zombies, holy crap. The zombies are chasing the birds, but in the mid lane there's no creeps, so Newbee can't really push. Creeps are coming, but I think they're gonna go for Roshan first. And yeah, Arteezy's birds weren't even a part of that fight. I think they were trying to claim Tombstone or something like that, but they couldn't even do so, as the zombies were still chasing. And buybacks had to be committed from both the Universe and Arteezy just to hold their higher ground, but they're still going to lose Roshan as the supports don't have buyback. Again, it doesn't really matter too much, as Universe, I mean, actually he's not 6-slotted, so it does matter for Universe. Doesn't matter that much for Arteezy, as he is 6-slotted pretty much, except for a Hex that he can complete. But again, I don't feel like the Hex will do anything. They already got the Lotus Orb onto Kaka, and he's definitely going to be able to get it off. Pretty much his positioning has been on point. He has a little bit of extra cast range with his talent as well. And we see Universe again with a crucial mistake, just slightly out of position, gets caught out by Newbee. And again, at this point the map's pretty dark for both sides. There's really no towers on the map anymore. It's all with ward placement, and there's no gem on either side quite yet. but or actually there is on Newbee, so they will have the advantage there in terms of map control. And at least I don't believe EG has a gem, but they do not. It's just sentries for now and fear. So they just have the slightly better vision there. They're able to run up on this high ground quite unafraid, I would say, and they just catch out Universe right there, and that fight was pretty much over at that point. They need, again, I need everybody on EG to take these fights, and these scrappy fights that are spread out, and that was the perfect fight for Newbee, because it was a scrappy fight, started off the pickoff, and then it spread out. So we saw the Monkey King do a lot of work, just take out Fear in the back line there, and then SECC blinked in, didn't really have to worry about the Winter's Curse, as again, Newbee making sure they don't clump up too much to get caught up by Winter's Curse, because I really feel like that's the only way they lose at this point, if they get caught up by a huge Winter's Curse from Fear. But even then, they even have buyback, while EG don't, so they're in a pretty bad position, I would say. 27k net worth advantage for Newbee, and they did get the Roshan as well, and it is picked up on Monkey King, and they have a cheese on Queen of Pain. She's gonna go without boots. I mean, she has blink, so she's fairly mobile, right? Undying. We'll complete up some more items here. We'll have a 4-staff complete now, and oh, it will be a Newbee hero getting caught out this time, and it will be Rubik, but he survives, gets the Lotus Orb off, which will save his life, and there's the Winter's Curse with the Monkey King in it, and he was kill his buddy Fate there, but I don't think he cares too much. He's gonna just blink forward, doesn't worry about his own team kill there as he goes forward, gets a good ultimate off, but there's a lot of damage coming out from EG. The buyback comes out from Kaka, but they're doing their job to hold here. They baited Newbee back onto this high ground, and they hold their ground there. Even with the Monkey King ultimate, they're able to actually sustain through it, and the buybacks are starting to come out from both sides. SCC comes in, and he goes in. He will finish off Arteezy again. Arteezy doesn't have buyback. That will be the first hero to die back on the side of EG. The buyback comes out from Crit. He wants to join this fight again. Monkey King falling low, and he will not fall. Glimmer Cape saves his life, and instead Smail will die, and he'll buy back immediately. They need to catch out Fear. This would be a big kill. They use him up in the air, and he will go down here. Meantime, Monkey King, he's quite low. Invis with the Shadow Blade. He's looking for another kill here, but the rest of EG has already retreated and are making their way back into their base. But that's Arteezy dead for 90 seconds without buyback. Really importantly, Fear is also dead, and he did have buyback, but he doesn't have the gold for it. He's 200 gold short, so this is going to be another set of racks for Newbee. And they'll actually be the first in this game to claim 2 sets of racks as the mid-range racks falls as well. And I think EG, they're just playing Protect the Throne at this point. It looked like a really good start to the fight, but because of the Aegis and Cheese on the side of Newbee, they're able to continue and take the fight. Even had to commit the buyback there from SECC, but it would be entirely worth it because that might have just been game winning. But KPI getting caught out, he's hexed up. They don't have the Lotus Orb to remove it quite yet, I don't think. No, he did. He just didn't bother. They just forced him out instead. And they're going to clean up the top melee, and they're going to get the range as well. There will be Mega Creeps going to Newbee. And I think they're going to be happy just retreating here. Samael actually blinking forward into Newbee's base. He's just looking to put some pressure, force them back so they can't close out the game. And he'll do that successfully. Fate did have to buy back there as well, I believe. Yep. And I think maybe KPI too. So 3 buybacks committed there from Newbee. Monkey King did not use it, and he's the only hero in the game that does have buyback. So the game actually could end in one fight. So Newbee are not out of it by far, even if they got the melee Mega Creeps here. They have to play pretty safe. Again, EG can win this in one fight, and they executed that last fight really well. Again, if they execute the same fight again as that last fight, they would win. Because Newbee had Aegis, and they had buybacks in the last fight, and they, I wouldn't say barely managed to close in. It was pretty dominant there, as they forced a buyback from Samael. They got a bunch of kills, but if it's just head-to-head at this point, and EG know it, and they're going to have to go for something, and they need to go for it soon. Otherwise, these Mega Creeps are just going to slowly chip at their base. So they're going to go for this 4-man smoke behind Samael, and maybe they can start off a fight. Mugi starts off the fight with a really good balance strike, and this is real bad for EG. They already lose Universe. The Wukong commands come out, and they get the nice ultimate there onto Faith from Winter Wyvern, and they will again kill. They will kill Faith again. team kill, but I think it's doesn't matter as the rest of EG has already fallen. Arteezy's dead. Fear actually somehow TP's back home. They didn't have detection or something. Yeah, they didn't have detection for his Glimmer. But now it's 2v4. And what can Samael do here to defend against these 4 newbie heroes? He'll buy a Dagon. He can buy anything he can to try to stall this push. He needs to hold out, but it's not only 4 heroes. It is also Mega Creeps that he has to deal with. And a Kaka Rubik with a stolen Agnes Arctic Burn. And this is going to be kind of annoying for him, as it's going to zone him out for now. Fear is playing really far back. He's waiting for another Winter's Curse opportunity in 23 seconds. KPI goes forward. Nice. Lotus Orb there, getting rid of the Hex. And Fear actually gets stunned up there by the lift. Samael goes forward. He's doing anything he can to defend, but it's not only Mega Creeps, it's Catapult Mega Creeps, and the Throne will just die to them. There's no chance here for Samael. He's just going to fight it out. He dies. Good game, well played is called. Doesn't matter. The Throne dies right as it's called, and Newbee will take victory in Game 2 against EG. I didn't really understand their draft until it came to EG pushing high ground, and everything kind of really fell together. The Undying was a critical part in them holding the high ground. He created a lot of space, and because of these 2 mobile cores on the side of Newbee, Monkey King and Queen of Pain, I mean, they saw how effective it was against them in the last game, and they're like, we can play these heroes, so they picked it up themselves, and it worked great against EG. Again, EG had a pretty immobile draft with the Venomancer as well as the Visage. They didn't have really good disengage and chase ability in these fights, and the Queen of Pain just blinked all around the fight, were able to do so much damage, and they didn't have the control and lockdown necessary to focus SCCC with his BKB. And from that point onward, they were able to hold high ground, and not only in the team fights were they having a problem with SCCC, he was able to create so much space with his split push as well, really slowed down the game and prevented EG from just rushing down the lanes when they were strong and when they had the Aegis. And from that point onward, Newbee's high ground defense really showed that they were the better team and the better draft in that situation. EG looking a little bit too rushed to go for high ground, but again, we saw how the late game played out, so they were not really wrong in doing so because they felt like they were on a little bit of a timer, and they were right. Game hit 67 minutes, and Newbee will take the victory. Hope you guys enjoyed the cast, and I'll probably cover Game 3 as well. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to catch Game 1, but I'll get Game 3. I was pretty happy with when observing this game, but the fights were kind of predictable. So we only had 2 mobile heroes on either side that was really blinking everywhere. I guess there was a puck as well. Whatever, I felt like I did pretty good. Leave a like if you guys thought I did pretty good in this cast, and see you all in the next one.